Hello, my name is Mike McGrath, and I lead Sysdig's Cloud Go-to-Market team. I'm happy to be a part of the Tackle conference today. And my session, I'm going to share how Sysdig tackles our cloud go-to-market. Just a brief background on myself. Before I joined Sysdig last year, I was at AWS for 6 years, leading sales teams, and my sales team sold to ISVs. Sysdig was one of them, and that's how I found out about Sysdig and the opportunity. And while at AWS, not only did my sales team sell to ISVs as customers, but we also helped them with their co-sell journey as they got listed on marketplaces. My team and my partner teams at AWS were really important for, there's the sell to motion at AWS to ISVs and the sell with. And the sell with sales motion was really top of mind for ISVs executives. So I'm passionate about cloud go-to-market and passionate about security. What I'm going to share with you today is kind of our pillars or building blocks for building our cloud go-to-market. Sysdig is a late stage startup in the cloud security space. So I'll go through these key areas, and it all starts off with executive alignment. It's one of the top reasons why I came to Sysdig. I had the pleasure of doing executive briefing center with Sysdig while I was at AWS, and met all the executives. Suresh is our CEO, just an incredible leader, very lots of integrity, very authentic, and he was a CEO of Nimble before. And so Suresh and Keegan, our chief revenue officer, are very passionate about the cloud marketplace. They want to see majority of our deals transacting through cloud marketplaces. They want to, because that's where our customers are. Our customers are in the cloud. We're providing cloud security around containers, Kubernetes, and serverless capabilities. So Suresh and Keegan want us co-selling with the cloud service providers, and also systems integrators and channel partners. We do see PPO transactions, work with GSIs, systems integrators. But it all starts with registering our qualified deals. That's the key. They have to be qualified first before we engage and register our deals in the cloud providers. And Suresh and Keegan and Karen have also made the marketplaces compensation neutral for our seller, which is very important. I saw when I was at AWS some ISVs not making it compensation neutral, and that just didn't incent the right behavior. It's incented the wrong behavior. And like I said, our mission is to make every cloud deployment secure and reliable. We were founded, Laura's our chief technology officer, created Falco, which is the open source, it's a standard in the cloud for real-time threat detection. It's like in my house, I have a Ring doorbell, and Falco is like a Ring doorbell for the cloud. It'll take basically a video and record what's happening when a breach is happening. Unlike some other legacy vendors will basically take like a picture and do a snapshot like every hour, every 15 minutes. So it's much more, our customers tell us that, the real-time visibility we give them to the cloud applications is critical, especially when there's breaches happening every day. It all starts after getting executive alignment as building the team. I'm a big advocate of Investors Business Daily. They have this screenshot shows just 5 of their top 10 secrets to success, and they showcase like a famous business person or celebrity or actor every week. But it all starts with how you think, and always be positive. So when I'm looking at candidates, I'm looking for candidates that are positive. They've got plans, they take action, and we have to continually learn in the market we're in. Cloud changes so quickly from a technology standpoint, but also from a go-to-market standpoint. And I'd say that I was really fortunate, or I am very fortunate, to have a world-class recruiter, Karen Carney. When I started here over a year ago, Karen and I, we'd meet weekly, but we really worked on kind of our ideal candidate profile. And for me, that's somebody that's got experience co-selling with hyperscalers. They're basically digital and native challenger sellers. That means they've got experience in the cloud. They've got experience with cloud marketplaces, and I want them familiar with security. But the willingness to learn is really important. So that's really important, just to start building the team and then build out your interview team with building any world-class teams. This is probably the most important thing as a leader, to build your team and then to onboard and ramp them up. The next thing that Sysdig did last year was we developed our ideal customer profile. So we take a lot of third-party data, and we basically look at 8 attributes, including cloud spend, number of cloud applications. We also look at the cloud technology prospects are using. Containers is really good for us. Kubernetes is becoming the operating system of the cloud. It runs on premise, it runs in AWS, it runs in Google, it runs in Azure. It pretty much will run anywhere. And so a lot of companies building cloud native applications that are multi-cloud are using Kubernetes. That's really a sweet spot for us, is Kubernetes security and monitoring. But anyways, we take 8 attributes and we score the customers, and we basically put them into 5 different tiers. The first 2 tiers, tier 1 and tier 2 customers, have higher annual recurring revenue than our tier 3 through 5 customers. We look at this in our quarterly business reviews. We just did them last week, but we're always looking at our customers and then the ICP scoring. And sometimes we'll iterate a little bit, but we want our sellers focused on prospecting on tiers 1 and 2 for obvious reason. That's where we're going to find our customers, our ideal customers. So here's some of our customers, and where we have a lot of success. This is important in co-selling with the cloud providers, is not taking a shotgun approach, but being very focused in the markets you're successful in. So we're strong in telco, media, entertainment, technology like ISVs, SaaS companies, digital native businesses. Financial services is a really big industry for us. Goldman Sachs is a big customer of ours. They're also an investor, and they basically they're transforming their business by taking a DevOps approach and using containers. They accelerate their software delivery from 1 new software release every 2 weeks to literally thousands per day. And so Sysdig is helping them maintain security and monitoring for any potential breaches. So a big customer and a big investor. SAP Concur, they've also implemented us into their pipeline, their CI/CD pipelines. So we're helping them identify vulnerabilities. A lot of our customers use open source, and when you use open source, it gives you that you're not locked in. There's more freedom to use different technologies, but you have to be very mindful of any vulnerabilities or software bugs. So we help automate those checks for them. They said they wouldn't be able to operate at the speed they're operating at without Sysdig. So these are the areas where we've had success. I'm going to get into when having our sellers qualify deals is really critical. So we use the MEDDPICC sales methodology, and so this is before we start co-selling with the cloud provider. We have to qualify our deals and capture the metrics, like what are the key metrics for the customer. Who's the economic buyer? Sometimes we don't know that, but AWS or Google can help us identify the economic buyer because they've got huge, cloud committed spends. Decision criteria is important. Obviously, the process, the paper process, the procurement, the cloud providers can provide some great insight on that too, since they're, do they have committed spend? Are they transacting in marketplaces? So they'll know, the people involved. We've had some really great conversations with both cloud providers. When we get to the point of, we'll have multiple calls with the cloud providers on deals, but when it gets to the marketplace piece, we actually help them a lot sometimes when we're hearing objections from a customer on why they wouldn't want to use a marketplace. And sometimes it might be somebody in procurement that's not familiar that they've got a large committed spend with the hyperscaler. And then as well as the champion and competition. But once we qualify a deal, now it's time to co-sell. And the co-selling starts, you've heard this from other presenters, is registering deals in the marketplaces. And then on the co-sell calls, we'll do, myself and my team will help our reps prepare. And we coach our reps to make sure they've got their MEDDPICC information, like, and what's their ask? Like, do they want to know if there's committed spend? Does the customer transact in marketplaces? Do we need access to the EB, the executive buyer? Do we need to understand the paper process or deal support? So it's very important, right, when we're talking to AWS or Google or Azure, that we have a clear ask. We have a clear opportunity, a qualified opportunity. We have a clear ask what we're looking for. And then it's important that we share customer stories and also the patch that the seller covers, because our reps can ask, after we talk about the opportunity, what other accounts does the cloud sales rep cover? And then ask about other customers that might have similar pain around cloud security. And then I'll finally sending a follow-up email with next steps and a calendar invite for the follow-up call. But that's really important on the co-sell call with the cloud providers. And I find that we'll help our reps in the first couple months. We focus on the reps that are obviously our top reps that are closing more business. But that's important too, to invest your scarce time in the sales reps that are performing, and then also enabling new reps as they come on board. And finally, two more things. Enablement I'll cover. This is more for Systigs. We have done a lot of enablement with our sellers, even not only our sellers, but our sales engineers, our TAMs, our customer support folks, and also sales operations. We remind them of our executive alignment and why this is important to Sysdig. The marketplaces are compensation neutral. It's interesting is the cloud marketplaces are somewhat new to a lot of sellers. So we're helping our sellers become digital native sellers. To me, that's co-selling in the cloud with the cloud providers and also via marketplace. And we also educate our sellers about the cloud sales organizations, like how they're paid, what's important to them. That's really important for them to understand anybody that they work with, how are they compensated, what's important to them. And then we'll show them how to register a deal. We had some friction last year in having our reps register deals directly with CSPs. We've automated from Salesforce to AWS ACE portal. That's removed a lot of friction. In our QBRs last quarter, a lot of our reps were just raving about how easy it is just in Salesforce to push a button and to register a deal for AWS. We'll get Google soon and Azure as well. And then also enablement for our partners, our cloud partners. Heard Jeff Grimes talk before, work with Jeff at AWS, but it's so important to really hone your message, have that better together story with customer stories. That resonates a lot for me. Learning is sharing what's the customer problem and how do we help the customer resolve that problem. And then obviously we talk about where we're having a lot of success in the market: financial services, telco, media, entertainment, digital native businesses. The startup space is actually a really good space for us. We have a lot of security technology companies that use Sysdig to make their security tooling even more secure. But those stories are really important when you're enabling sellers. The last thing I'm going to cover here is around metrics and automation. Obviously, metrics, you've got to, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So we're very data-driven company. And so we track, deal registrations, what we originate, what the cloud providers originate, our pipeline, close revenue, renewals, number of private offers, CPPOs, win wires. I've got a goal on my team. We manage and measure this weekly, but we're also sending win wires out to the cloud providers. So our reps will do win wires. We'll reformat those into the CSP's formats. And then automation is really, really critical to get scale. So deal registrations, like I mentioned, we've automated that from Salesforce to at least the ACE portal, which is huge. Can't wait till we get till tackle. And Google, I think we're waiting for Google to provide the API tooling to automate the deal registrations. Having a good partnership with your sales operations. I'm blessed to have a really, really good sales operations team. Jeff and RJZ, Adam Gerlinger, really great business partners. And then our deal desk, they're the ones that are using Tackle to create our private offers. So our reps will send the pricing information to our deal desk, and Anna's team will create the private offers in Tackle. And then we get great notification automation when customers are viewing offers, when they're accepting offers. So it gives us really good visibility, and automating that is really, really important. The other piece of automation is customer intent. So we use some third-party tooling to see customer intent when they're looking at our website, and then automating outreach with emails. So that's just the brief time I have is what I covered today, but on our Sysdig's cloud go-to-market. But the most important thing I said at the very beginning is that executive alignment. So thank you for your time today. I will be in the speaker room afterwards if anybody would like to join. Thank you.